If you have tried a lot of different things for getting into flow and you're finding some challenge or there's always something that's coming up, this is natural and this is something that probably won't stop, to be honest. So, allowing yourself to know how to create space and to set your boundaries around your time and have the resolve to stick to those when nobody else is telling you to. These are all things that will benefit you and bring you closer to that state of flow and this space within you that you are nurturing and cultivating. This is like the garden of your heart. This is the place that matters most in the long run of your memories and your experiences will be the things that you carry with you. And so this is the things that you give to the world and the things that matter most to you in the long arc of time. So finding that space to honor all of that within yourself requires setting boundaries and requires like being okay with having a strong sense about you of what you know you need to accomplish and how you need to do it and what your actual needs are to make that happen. Now, just to switch gears, because we started with this concept of being in maybe always getting interrupted or always having something happen. This idea of creating space applies in a lot of ways, but that's one of the biggest things for allowing yourself to be emptied so that you can become full. And this is like in so many philosophies, it's crazy. So, so you have the Buddhist teacher that says, empty your cup so that it can be full. Like, if you want to have space for flow in your life, removing the things that are reducing, that are creating friction, will certainly be one way of doing that. And this concept of making space just applies in so many ways. You can apply it to your mental diet. You can apply it to just the way you spend your energy in general. Certainly to the thoughts you think. Certainly to the food you eat. All of these things. And the more that we empty ourselves and at the same time remember that we are emptying ourselves of the things that are not us, so the only thing that's left is you, that this is there's a number of ways to go about it. The traditional concept of kenosis is like the process, like the self-emptying of Jesus is the concept of kenosis. This experience of letting yourself become empty to recognize the fullness, I guess is what I'm getting at. And the flow is sort of like that. It's like the thing that fills the vacuum. And when you turn up the quality or the amplitude of the frequency of that incoming vibration, then you can start to percolate that into different areas of your life, like some sort of creative thing that you want to do, like whether it's art or singing or writing, or maybe just you are really enthusiastic about something at work that you want to get better at, and that would be like a more advanced role for you, and or it's something with your family and you just want to change your relationship or do something fun with someone. It doesn't have to be that complicated, but it's just allowing these streams of higher consciousness and inspiration to flow through you, and allowing yourself to be empty enough for that to happen. So that's like not picking up your phone all the time, like just being in the moment. And that sort of thing is something that we all need to work on. It's not like that I'm here telling you anything that I don't also already know is important for myself. So it's just recognizing that we have these concepts of boundaries and limitations that hold us back because we've imposed them on ourselves. And to just say like, well, I don't need to look at my phone 27 times to check my email or whatever, and I can actually just do something that I really enjoy with my time during like at least half of that time. And then perhaps you'll find that you were still able to get just as many emails done. And there's just this space of knowing that when you're bridging a gap, when you're bringing something into your life, there will always be resistance in the first place. So if there's something new that you want to create space for in your life, just create the space, one, by knowing that that's what you want to do, but then two, like removing something, and then you'll find the space. So for example, I notice that when I am feeling energetic and healthy, I can fast, or that fasting is something that feels healthy. And whether that's intermittent fasting or maybe for a day or two, the space that is created from not having to eat food, not having to do dishes, not having to cook food, not having to go buy food, whatever it is, all of that takes a lot of energy and resources and just time, etc. So knowing that the food thing is always going to be there as a significant element of practice in terms of wanting to feel lighter, especially bringing this concept of Hari Hachibu, is always leaving a little bit of space, not filling up your tank all the way, so to speak, leaving space for water and air, allowing yourself to have smaller portion sizes, and just eating slower and connecting to your food and stopping eating before you actually feel full. All of these kinds of things that are not so intense the way fasting can be perceived as intense, but just finding a little bit more connection to food as a source of energy, and each food having an individual effect on consciousness, and also being totally aware that mind over matter is a thing, so you can transmute energy from whatever base substance it is into alchemical gold, and at the same time making it easier on yourself by, say, eating foods that make you feel light. That's the important thing. And yeah, being in flow as a experience that you can really sort of nurture and juice over longer periods of time than just a day is a very important thing. Like, there's this whole thing to be made of the morning routine, and it's also important to recognize how there's much larger cycles where we can ebb and flow with our energy and allow ourselves time to rest and recover, and also then build ourselves up into a state of vitality and more outward expression per se, and knowing that we are a part of much larger cycles than we are in control of, and therefore knowing how to attune ourselves even to those cycles, of course, is perhaps something that the more spiritual or astrologically minded, but also just the naturally inclined to the seasons or to the movement of energy in the cultural zeitgeist, in the popular ideals of the time, and just being aware of how all of these things are all playing together, and they're more connected than we realize. And as we tune into our thoughts and how our thoughts are all forming this collective consciousness, and that grid is something that we interface with, and that's sort of the underlying human software that's shaping this reality that is being architected continuously and changing continuously. Humans are just coming up with new things and blossoming and growing ideas and then blowing stuff up, or they deteriorate and get destroyed, and then there's just worlds that emerge over generations of time, right? And so here we are in the present moment, and we get to be a part of that in whatever way we choose. So I wish you the best with enjoying that experience and breathing and finding flow. Thank you.